my music. I miss being able to play that 4 chord that Drake uses or whatever to shift the atmosphere.
Ooh.
Right? To dictate what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have more knowledge, I don't feel, or I was struggling with at the old church, I don't feel I should be doing that. That it should be the Lord's doing. If it goes there, it goes there. If the Holy Spirit don't move, then he don't move.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So what's your thought on that? Because I felt internally for a long time, I'm dictating what's happening.
You are? Most girls who grew up in the church are very promiscuous. And then they found out that boys who grew up in the church were actually less promiscuous. And I thought that was pretty strange. And Marquis said it was somewhat accurate in his...
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Millennial Minded Podcast with Marquis
and Gia.
And I feel like the pastor at a church that keeps lying and saying it won't be before you long before he preaches, and we keep being long-winded. But I really mean it this time. We're not going to be before you long. We're going to talk our talk and get up out of there. Please follow us on Instagram at millennial.minded. Facebook, Millennial Minded Podcast with Marquis and Gia. Give us a thumbs up on the page. And please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Millennial Minded Podcast with Marquis and Gia. So let's get into, actually, from last episode, you had an interesting point about the men, young men in the church. You said your point about women, but if you could just share with the audience about what you read about the men.
So when I was watching... this back and forth on Instagram, they did say that most girls who grew up in the church are very promiscuous. And then they found out that boys who grew up in the church were actually less promiscuous. And I thought that was pretty strange. And Marquis said it was somewhat accurate in his case.
Accurate in the sense of compared to my other friends outside of the church, I'm like nowhere near. There's some, every case is different, but there's some, people in the church, I know, whatever, was very diligent in their pursuit for happiness. And, but compared to people outside the church, like nowhere near the amount of stuff they did, or
is that because maybe men that grew up in the church are very heavy on finding wives early, so they had the freedom of having sex, but women who grew up in the church have a different stigma to them? Could that be the case? Because I'm going to stick up for a woman now.
Of course, as you should. I don't know what the case is, but the sisters didn't lie on the Instagram, I don't think. So also about the church, I want to point out something that we talked about when we were talking about Drake a little bit. I was talking about the cheat code he got for making hits, because I just saw he got like 9 songs from a new album, all on the billboards.
Oh, already
like 9 songs on the billboard. And not to get crazy, but there's like a certain chord you use.
Okay.
Called the chord of David, but in musical terms, it's really the 4th chord of a scale, the 4 chord. And I realized the songs that I like in his album, or that are popular, they all start with this chord.
Oh,
right. They all start with this chord, from "Race My Mind" to the 7 a.m. song, to all these songs that I liked. I'm like, I'm realizing, they just throw a beat on there, but they're starting on with this chord.
Okay.
Right? It is very effective. And I recall, my point was, in church, if I wanted a certain sound, I would play this chord, the 4 chord. I would play this chord to get this reaction. Right?
Oh, okay.
Right, to get this reaction out of people. and I guess musicians, whether you filled with the Holy Ghost, saved, whatever, you know what sound to play. If they're exhorting, you know what chords to play. If they're doing this, if there's like a demonic type thing going on, they're praying for people, you know what chords to play. So how much of that is influenced by us? Like, are we dictating what's happening in the church, or are we really allowing the Holy Spirit to move and operate? Because this is something that I struggled with internally.
Okay.
For a long time. Yes, I was praying. Yes, I was, God forgive me for what I did the night before. Yes, I was fasting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be ready. Lord, use me. But a part of me, believed there was anointing, but a part of me was like, I know subconsciously, I just know, all right, we want to go into worship. Let me play this chord.
Okay.
And boom, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're about to shout. Let me play this, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And I flip it to the church I'm at now, where they don't let the musician dictate nothing.
They shouldn't.
Okay. Okay, so like when they start singing
aren't they the easiest?
Let's go there. So as soon as the song stop at my church now, musicians stop.
Okay.
They ain't no playing on nothing. If the Holy Spirit move or someone starts speaking, that just happens over there, and it just happens.
Okay.
The Lord is, I can completely say it's the Lord doing.
Yeah, Jesus don't need background singers. Why?
Because so we're going somewhere.
Okay.
Because the part of me misses I get influence the service and impacted through my gifting, through my music. I miss being able to play that 4-chord that Drake uses or whatever to shift the atmosphere.
Ooh.
Right? To dictate what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have more knowledge, I don't feel, or I was struggling with at the old church, I don't feel I should be doing that. That it should be the Lord's doing. If it goes there, it goes there. If the Holy Spirit don't move, then he don't move.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So what's your thought on that? Because I felt internally for a long time, I'm dictating what's happening.
You are. There are two people that solely dictate what's gonna happen on a Sunday morning. That's the word and the worship. So yeah. So if you can't move them, because you're not the only one that's guilty of doing it. I've seen pastors where they can and then once they start to be like, they say one thing that they know is gonna evoke a reaction, they're gonna stay and play in that thing until they get the reaction that they want. Now, are they using it for selfish gain, or is God being glorified? I believe it's a double entendre.
Right.
God is being glorified either way, but if you had to do this in order for it, I don't know how genuine that spirit would be. So now we got to think of our motives and why we do things. Now, if we have to be primed and primed to get into the flow of worship or for God to speak, now I do know that the atmosphere needs to be set. But if it's a specific chord that can only set that atmosphere, there's an issue. If it's a specific word that's only going to set or shift the atmosphere, there's an issue, because now we come and we rely on that. Now, as a worshiper, if I don't get this chord and actually allow God to use him and stop, and we actually got to wait for God's voice, I'm going to leave feeling as though I did not get the experience that I came to church for. And I'm not coming really for an experience of...
Emotionalism? What?
Yeah. I need you to make me feel good. Now, however you choose to make me feel good, whether it's going to be on your word or on that chord, when I leave out of church, I know that I need to have some type of experience to where I do not leave the way I came in. Is that
Man.
genuine when you are the leader of how my worship is flowing? Because that's why I play my own worship music before I go to church.
Okay.
I listen to whatever gets me. Listen,
Wait,
the battle belongs to the Lord. Yolanda will have snot coming down my nose driving on my way to church because I know that will evoke a type of reaction or a type of release that I need.
Okay.
Now, when I'm talking to the Lord and I'm praying, if I can't snot down my face on my own with my own conversation,
right,
that's a problem for me.
Me too. 100%.
Okay.
100% agree. So when you put on that Yolanda,
the battle belongs to the Lord.
You know you can put that on to get a reaction.
I know that song shifts my spirit no matter where I am.
You know that song shifts your spirit.
That was one of my go-to songs it helped me up out of a lot of things when I was in my deepest and my darkest place. So I have an emotional connection to that song.
Okay, so that's powerful, and that's the power of music, ladies and gentlemen. That because David was able to play chords and get an evil spirit out of Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Music has the influence, has the power, etc. So when you say that song is tied to a state that you were in, which music can do. That's the beauty of it. When you play that, do you feel like that's the Lord or that's the emotional connection you had to be in that place?
That's for sure is the emotional connection that I have because I know if I want to get out of something that I'm feeling now, I can play that and I know where it'll take me. I'm not saying, but once it gets me there, because sometimes I'm not going to lie, sometimes it does take certain things to get us into the atmosphere of God. It does take worship. It does take prayer. You have to continuously talk. It's not like I'm just, it always comes on just like this. There is some primping and priming, but it does not have to come from somebody else. It should come from opening up my scripture should be enough. But when that is not enough, I go to The Battle Belongs to the Lord by Yolanda Adams. Is that of God? I don't know. I know.
Because it could be that I don't. So that's the internal struggle. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm not saying that I'm right.
Yeah.
By any means necessary. But it could have been that God used Yolanda Adams for that time, and it did what it did for people in different ways.
Yeah.
That's very well possible. God could have been using me to get you out of that situation, whatever, or this person out of that, and just that was it. That's what it was.
All things work together.
Right? I struggled with, I believe God. At the time, I'm praying, God use me, God use me. And this happening, my subconscious is like, I know what to play. I know when there's really tension up there, I'm going to play this diminished chord, and it's going to get this reaction, and we're going to take the church, So,
do you think you did it for selfish gain or glory?
No, but that's what I was going to say.
So why do you feel so bad? Why are you condemning yourself for doing what the Lord?
It was a struggle because I don't know that I should be dictating this.
Okay.
That's why I get where I'm at now. There is no music. No, you're not doing that because they didn't have music when the word was going on. There's nobody backing up Paul while he's preaching. You don't need that. Actually, it's your scripture to talk against that, but it's neither here nor there. So they're not using music for that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But we were.
Okay.
I was struggling with that because I'm dictating this.
Some of us is using music the same way Lucifer did. Because they wait to the end of the pastor preaching. They go to the da, and then here come the word, and da, and here come the word. And then you would think that they're saying something that's just
Profound,
astronomical.
right.
That no, it's the music that's just heighten it up. Another level, another level, another
for
level.
For real.
Playing on our emotions.
Really? Yeah. And then I hit that right chord, and then Gia running around screaming. I'm just like, I was like, oh, I don't know.
Listen, I know for sure when I would sit in church, and then when it was just the year part, because I'm not a singer, but yes, yes,
Oh, okay.
Yes, Lord, yes, Lord.
What about it?
Give him a yes. I gave him a yes. And I wound up giving him 30 yeses because you told me to, but he been asking for my yes since last night. I done had to wait for you to
Right. So you feel like that's musicians and worship and preachers, right?
It's all playing together. Yeah. It's intertwined. I'm not sure how guilty I feel at the moment because it got me where I needed to be, and I do believe that the Spirit of the Lord was on me. Now, whether Marquis invoked the Spirit or not.
By just playing that right chord that Drake is using. Yo, he's got the cheat code. The dude starting on this chord. A bunch of those songs on the album, put a drum beat on it, and it's like it's a vibe. So he's using it for his thing.
We're doing the same thing for
right on this end. And I just, just a thought. I'm like, dang. So I see where the church now. Nah, the guy is not up there leading, lift your hands and telling you what to do. Nah. You got a testimony, you sing, all right, he sing, all right, that's it. We playing, done. But if the Spirit move over there, it just happens. No one's playing while that's.
But just because that is the way they do it there doesn't mean that is the way it should be done.
I purposely said, I'm not saying this is the right way.
Okay.
But I understand why they do it this way.
Yeah, they don't want the provocation to come from man.
Right. And they didn't do it in the Bible. The Spirit was not dictated by this person doing this or this person saying the right phrase. Okay. So that was that. That's one to tie that into Drake because he's using that
biblical influence or the
beautifully. I don't even know if he knows it or his producer knows it.
Oh, his producer knows. His producer was brought up in the church. Most producers have been brought up in the church. That's why they have a wide variety of creativity because they resort back to them hymns that you think is a good old Drake sound. No, that's This Too Shall Pass.
Oh man! So what else? Anything else happen?
I got some exciting news. I have an appointment tomorrow. You want to ask me what my appointment is for?
Talk to me. What's going on?
I am going tomorrow morning because I was invited. First come, first serve. This is big news, so I have to dramatize it.
Go ahead.
Because your girl is on the dean's list, I was invited to come and register for grad school tomorrow.
Oh my God. Congratulations. Wow. Wait, so you're going to get your master's now?
My master's.
Oh my
I am going tomorrow. I was invited first come, first serve, so I get to get the pickings of the litter just to see if, because when you are on the dean's list, because I'm going to keep saying that.
When you order these,
when you're on the dean's list and you get a digital dean card the way you can take it and put it on your resume and everything, they allow us, because grad school is not cheap. Now they're going to allow me to come and see what scholarships they can give me, what grants I may qualify for, or how I would be able to fund or pay for my master's degree. And if I'm accepted, I will be starting my master's in January.
Nice.
Isn't this sick?
Yeah. I'm so happy for you.
But they do not have the program that I want my master's in.
Education?
Education was the second. The first one was African American history.
Ain't
They
got no masters
took
for that. I ain't
African.
got no masters. Just
They
joking.
took. I can't even get a regular history.
Nice.
They took that history, that program, and you know what they changed it to?
What?
You can get a master's in the Armenian genocide. So instead of being an African, you don't know what the Armenian genocide is?
Educate me, sister.
It's one
I was
of
more
the first
okay, go ahead.
massacres, and they want to say in the country. I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I disagree. It's like 1919, over what, 5 million Armenians were killed.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like ethnic cleansing again. Almost, they kind of tie it into, oh, y'all talk about the Holocaust, but y'all don't really talk about the Armenian genocide and how many Armenians was killed. But they replaced that our African American history program at the university that I want to get my master's in. They replaced that with 3 other cultural master's degree programs and did not offer African American.
Marquis is not surprised at all that they did this to you.
Chinese history, Armenian genocide, Latin culture, and it's Jewish.
Of course.
They're always going to teach Jewish.
They're always
I'm
gonna-
okay.
yeah.
But if not, I have two other avenues I'm going to go into.
Now, once you get your master's, right? I decree and declare you're going to get
Come
it.
on. How we going to pay for it? I need y'all to like, comment, and share our Instagram.
Put your cash app on there.
Please, like, comment, and share so we not just doing this for nothing, honey. I'm trying to pay for my master's degree.
Are you going for your doctorate?
No.
You're done after your master's?
I'm done.
Why?
I'm done.
Why?
Dr. Eason would sound nice, but it's not a goal for me.
Okay. The stature and command you would take from Dr. Eason would be gratifying for me.
It would be a
to
step
call you
up.
Dr. Yeah.
What? Do you know what I would be doing if y'all had to call me Dr. Eason? Dr. Najia Eason.
Right. I can see that.
God don't need my head to get no bigger than this, about to get with this master's degree. And I work for it.
Yo, you did.
And
You
it's
put in
gonna
that
be
work.
mine.
It's going to be yours.
And he going to help me pay for it.
I believe it.
But yes, that's tomorrow. I'm going. So y'all, by the next time y'all see this podcast, we will see how that has gone.
All right. Make sure you update us, whether good or bad. That's going to be good. We got it.
Okay.
You got it. What else? Piggyback off of the mental health stuff that we talked about
Ooh, that Marquis was spilling tea.
and having outlets. Yo, I can understand why teen suicide or suicide period is not having an outlet and
Suicide statistics have changed over the last 3 years. Typically, the number one person to commit suicide was a middle-aged white man.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a black girl between the ages of 13 and 19.
You see what I'm saying? It's from the influences from this. It's just we're getting on in all areas. Our children are much worse than we did. A lot of it, social media and just everything, the technology, the advancement that we didn't have to put up with as young people growing up. And I don't necessarily blame social media fully. I do blame our irresponsibility to manage it and use it properly. Mm-hmm. And not hold ourselves accountable with it.
And parents.
Yeah, the darn parents.
Everybody ain't doing what they supposed to do as a parent. If
help us.
13 to 19-year-old African-American girls are the leading group to commit suicide, something is going wrong within that community.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I want to say shout out to, so I guess my sister saw the podcast and me venting and talking.
She gonna get the shot? Finish that education, girl.
I think she is. She explained to me first. Shout out for checking in on me. She's like, Marquis, you okay? Blah 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 blah. You good? Blah, blah.
Listen, everybody been calling me like, girl, what happened to Marquis? We watched the podcast last week. I said, listen, what did he say happened? Even my sister called me like, girl, I was like, oh, you watching the podcast? She was like, yeah, I listened to it and I watched it. I said, okay. How have you been?
I've been much better. I got to talk, it started off rocky, but we got to get to a resolution. So to
nice.
say. I got to get to a resolution. All parties were heard. All parties expressed their feelings. I didn't have to hold anything in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great. My sister reached out to me,
okay.
checked in with me. Other people checked in on me. So appreciate that. Again, I agree with my cousin, our cousin, Basim, about setting up a group chat and just checking in with each other and make sure everyone's good. Then I got hit, from the side again. When things were going good, I got a little hit with had a situation arise that definitely could have been avoided, but the person like deliberately kept something from me out of fear of how I might react, because of how I reacted in the past or whatever the situation was. Had kept something from me, and then when I asked about it, at least I was told the truth. I give benefit to that.
Okay.
I told the truth. But then, I asked, and then I was told, and I'm like feeling this anger, this rage that just came up on me. And because of my environment, I couldn't express how I felt.
Oh.
Right? Because of my environment, because I got to keep cool because of where I'm at.
Okay.
Who's around. So I felt that feeling again. That feeling like, you remember how you said
What?
How you felt like a little girl?
Yeah, 12-year-old. I never wanted that feeling again.
I felt like that 12-year-old boy that had to internalize absorb all this stuff for whatever reason, because I didn't know how to express how I felt, or I felt I couldn't express how I felt. So I felt like that in that place again where I gotta eat this because of my environment right now. And I can't, whether it was good, right, or wrong, how I would have reacted if I wasn't in that place. Probably wouldn't have been good. I had to swallow it, and it tore me up. I did not like it.
Did you address it after you left that environment?
Sort of was able to address it, and sort of, I would say sort of able to address it, and whatever the case may be.
Sort of was able to.
Yeah, I was able to talk it out, but I still felt like I didn't react the way I wanted to at that moment.
Oh, and it probably you wanted to react out of anger.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's maturity. You're beating yourself up because you literally.
I couldn't go into.
That's called self-control, discipline, and maturity. Huh? Men are not supposed to act like that. You gotta express. Why are you beating yourself up because you're growing
up? I guess, but there's too many times where I've done that and I didn't. So 12-year-old or whatever the case was, passive aggressive, Marquis, but just smiled like I was offended. Something happened, whatever.
Yeah,
and I talked about it before. Like I just smiled and took it and didn't express how I felt.
Okay.
So it took me to that point where I couldn't express how I felt. Probably was the wrong way. Yeah. I wanted to react like a fool. But I just took it and I internalized it.
And when you were able to release it, it did not come out in anger, although that's what you wanted to.
Right.
Marquis, that is a big step. Why are we... Because you know me, I'd have called them back like, you know what I wanted to say to you? You know what you deserve? Do you know how much self-control it took for me not to knock your head off? That's just me. But I'm proud of you.
I'm not, okay,
You're not.
That's good.
You
Yeah, no,
wanted
that
to
is.
wait. You wanted to react in a way that's contrary to what we have been trying to work on, or you wanted to hurt them the way that they hurt you.
No, it wasn't to hurt them.
It wasn't hurt.
But it was. Yeah, I just wanted to react. I wanted to like scream, like yell, like like I don't know, walk away, do it.
Okay.
And I didn't do it. Right. After dealing with the other issue that came up, deliberately didn't tell me whatever the case, fear, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And it's like you didn't even know how I was going to respond. You took away my choice or my right to choose how I would respond.
Yeah, by not telling
me, right?
People that
I gotta go further.
Please. Let me sip.
Sip that. I ain't got nothing. Sip that coffee. The next day, when I do my morning routine, I'm sitting there, and what came to my mind?
What?
My brother, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. That's what came to my mind. And I said, let me explain. So,
okay.
You know how many times in my life I deliberately kept something out of fear of how someone might react.
Yeah.
Something that I should have said, something that I should have did, something I should have told. That I purposely didn't do it out of my own selfish reasons.
Okay.
And it's like, so what you put out is kind of what you got. I don't know if that's God. I don't know if that's right. I don't know.
Well, the world will call it karma. You go ahead and use the spiritual aspect of you reap what you sow.
But when that happened, the next day I'm like, man.
You can't even be mad?
I can't even be
so they
mad.
They did a you on you.
They did a you on you.
So you know they say when you point a finger, you got three pointing back at you.
3 more pointing back at you.
Woo!
And when I'm like, oh shoot,
I did the exact same. Typical of men. They usually cannot take what they dish. Now I don't know what the situation is, but that's just
true. That's true.
Men can't take what they dish.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
No.
Not even a little bit. So I'm like, yo, I deliberately did this. I remember.
When the last time you watched the movie Boomerang?
I don't remember.
The whole concept. Do you know the movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy? 90s? The whole concept of him was just like this big player. And he met a boss that played him and did this.
Watch it tonight.
Watch it tonight.
Watch it tonight.
Boomerang just was like, boom. You can't, the same way you reacted, you got it back, and he could not handle it.
I could not handle it. Well, you said I did handle it well.
Not if you woke up and was like, oh.
It hit me the next day like, yo, you really can't be that bad because you dished this out. The message of this episode is be careful of the energy that you put out and the things that you put out in the world, because you might have to eat that later on in life. It might be 2 years and it might be 10 years and
You're gonna eat it. You're gonna eat it.
It hit me hard in that one rib, and I was just like, okay, I accept that. I gotta eat that. So that was it. That all happened. Next day I felt that. And I'm like, all right, let me just
did it
mindful.
Change? No, you can't just be mindful. Usually when something wakes us up or smacks us in the face, so we have an epiphany.
Yes.
Or something, does that now change what you do going forward? Like, yeah, I ain't doing this at all no more.
That's what I'm saying. I got to be very mindful and intentional of what I do, what I say,
what you withhold,
how you do it, all those things. I'm very intentional going forward because I don't want to have that feeling.
Okay,
ever again of what I've done, what I dished out.
But don't get it twisted. Depending on what the situation is, everybody don't want the truth. Everybody don't want the
I think you
truth.
talked about that before, yeah.
Everybody don't want the truth. If a lie sound better and it's gonna make me feel better, then I don't want to hear the truth. Give me the lie.
I don't know. I remember I saw Gabrielle Union talking about it.
What?
With Dwayne Wade, he did whatever he did. And he had to tell her, and I think that was honorable of Dwayne Wade to tell her whatever it was he did, whatever the case may be.
Oh, when he had his on a break baby.
That what it was? Yeah.
That's was they call it. First of all, I just think that's so tacky. They were on a break, so they were broken up, and he wound up getting another woman pregnant.
And then
they got back together.
And he had to tell her.
And it was a hard pill to swallow because she had like 9 miscarriages and she couldn't get pregnant. And as soon as we break up, and now we back together. Mm-hmm. But.
But I commend him for not withholding and telling her. And
I wouldn't have married a man that had another baby by another woman.
No? Why? While being with you?
While on a break?
Yeah.
I don't know if that could be me.
Look how strong of a couple they are
now.
Right now.
That's what we see.
Well, yeah. I guess
that's what we see because he take family pictures. I haven't seen one picture. That baby is posted. Their beautiful daughter is posted. The break baby. The break baby ain't in none of his family photos. Come on. The break baby ain't in none of his family photos. She with them other boys. The boy that's a cross-dresser. The trans boy, her daughter. His nephew. And that break baby is like 4 or 5 years old. I haven't seen him in one of their family photos. So how much...
Did she really
move on? He ain't around her daughter. He ain't around his other brothers. Now, I don't know the dynamics of it, but if we going to push this whole family, we back together, we working together, why your wife ain't in none of the pictures with the baby that you had while y'all was broken up? Like, that's real maturity when a woman can take another woman's child in and not hold it against that child. I haven't seen that. Until I can see that, don't write me no book. Don't sell me no story, sis. You ain't posted up and no pictures with that other baby, but you with all the other kids. I respect people and their decisions.
And I respected that she took on the other kids.
Yeah,
and made them her own.
Well,
and
let's keep it clear. I mean, he was a married man with those other 2 kids when she started messing with him. Everything ain't been like, I mean, usually how you get them, I told y'all, how you get him is how you lose him. Even if you get him back, you got him back. But this in the side that you're going to have to take.
And she's not taking it because you're right. I haven't seen those pictures with the other. Same thing with Israel when he blah, 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 blah.
You don't see them other kids?
I don't see the other kids.
Come on, that's the part of the story that they don't want told, and it's not them kids' fault. It's none of them children's fault, but they don't get the same accolades as the ones that you're not embarrassed by or the ones that your wife can tolerate. So let's talk about that.
Can you imagine what the kid is going through? I see his daddy, sister? Right? I see sister, daddy, all this happening. Family, but me. I remember when I found out same thing with Israel and he had that and he got divorced and all that. He had another kid. Never heard he was supporting him financially, but
Dwayne he support financially that other one too.
Right.
But that's just about it. Even he don't have pictures with him. But you on national TV advocating for the rights of your son or your daughter. Or this, you at basketball games, even if your wife we don't even see you in the picture with him. So, I mean, I love them as a couple. I love the little girl. I like to see their pictures up, but there's still something that I keep in the back of my mind. When y'all paperback men don't keep it 100, like, you ain't getting a pass from me. And women too, because women do it too. There's a whole bunch of men that step in when a woman has stepped away or they broke up and they had a baby by somebody else. And I was in the barbershop when my son was young.
Okay.
And they had a rotating joke about the head barber. And he was
no.
He was saying, they would say, he was like, because my baby mother, and they said, listen, your baby mother's somebody else's baby mother. Don't start with that. We only know your baby mother because her baby, so it's just like a rotating joke that it is nothing new because women do it all the time. They go and have other children by other men and come back or move on, whatever the case may be. Right. But when you are in a dynamics where everything is not celebrated or everyone is not included, that's when I have an issue. I digress.
No, I would have an issue with that 100%. But that's cool that you pointed that out. I didn't even recognize that in what that child is like dealing with or seeing. Same thing with Israel. That's tough. I can't even defend it because I'm the one like, I don't want to post my kids and all that stuff. But they post the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The other kids.
If you
all
got pictures
day.
of all your other kids posted and this one is not or that one is not.
Did Will Smith have something like that too? No, I don't remember the
all
dynamics.
His kids is up there.
Now, I don't remember one. I thought the first one wasn't. I remember Jada and Jade Willow more so than the first one before he got married to Jada.
The one by the model. But I remember seeing a lot of him. Some of them do have like contracts where they don't want their a lot of people do say, he live a high profile life. I don't want people to know who my child is because we don't live as high of a profile life and we don't live in a gated community. We go to a regular school. So they don't want them posted and stuff like that all the time. But I remember seeing pictures of his older. I do think once you marry somebody, there's a little bit of more of a family unit with the children that you create out of that marriage. Right. And you have to just work hard to make sure that your other children don't feel out of place because of that. Because naturally, you grew the mother and the father's in the house together. We raising their kids together. This one may live with their parents. So you do have to work hard to make sure all your kids is included when y'all go to Disney, not just the kids with you and your wife. Take a couple of extra $100 and take all your kids on a family vacation.
Agreed. If you want the cow, you got to take all the calves. You got to said that before. You got to do it. Wow, that was deep. Okay.
I come from a mom's standpoint.
I didn't even realize that.
I personally, because I'm thinking of how I would react to a man.
So maybe she like, nah, you messed up.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. And he like, all right.
Maybe there's some about there are some men that listen. My wife don't want him over here. My wife not comfortable. I'm trying to keep the peace at home. I'll come there. And there's some men that will cater to what their wife prefer when it comes to their outside children. It's a hard topic to discuss, but it is happening. There are women that will not allow another woman's children into her household, and if they are there, they're usually is really like a paradoxical term to use, but they're usually not treated the same way that her children are treated.
We know. Yeah, I know.
We know about the outside kids and how they treated.
Yeah.
Wait, who had an outside kid? It's Abraham's fault. Sleeping with that woman. Sleeping with Hagar.
But she told her, hey, do it.
And men that y'all going through the worst with y'all baby mothers, go back and read, who was that? Jose and Goma? None of his kids, none of her kids was his either. Y'all ain't the first one going through it. His wife and his baby mother was going all through the town. I mean, their story is story is symbolic to the children of Israel,
Yes,
but
yeah.
but it still happened nonetheless.
Still,
Hosea and y'all got a whole Hosea and Gomer relationship out here, and you don't even know it. Them kids ain't even yours.
Hey, but I know a guy that I work with. Yo, she got maybe 2-3 kids. He has none. They together.
Mm-hmm.
He talk about them like they're his. I'm like, all right, cool.
I love it.
I respect it. So it goes both ways.
It
right?
does. Mm-hmm.
You gotta be accept. Yeah. I think that's.
Would you be comfortable with somebody that said, "Listen, I'm not comfortable with you having children, but you really actively pursue them"? Like, would you
Say that again? Wait.
like if you wanted to date somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't comfortable with the fact that you have children, but she was really interested in you. Wouldn't that be a red flag?
Yeah, that means you don't really want me, because if you want, you gotta accept. You know what I mean? No matter the circumstance, it's a package deal. As my mother would say, it's a package deal. She talked about. I don't want to bring that up, but
No, but yeah,
well,
it's a package. What?
I was gonna say, she would always tell me stories of my aunt. Will always say, "No, I got 3. Whoever I'm dating, I got 3 kids. This is a package deal.
We come with a package.
We come with a package, right? So yeah, if you wanted to date me, but it can't happen. That's what it is. It can't happen. And same thing for you, I would assume.
You all right?
And you still on the wave, or you ain't having no more?
Of course.
That might change. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
of course.
Yo, we did it again. We had 45 minutes. We lied again at the church. We lied again. Forgive us.
Forgive us.
But I think it was an interesting talk. Let us know your thoughts. Would you be willing to accept
another woman's child, or on a break baby, a breakup baby, a cheating baby?
Lord,
women will. But a man, if you cheated on him and had a baby by somebody else, he ain't coming back, sis. He ain't coming back, sis.
I gotta say, I don't think I can do it.
If you cheated on that man and had a baby, he is not coming back. You cheat on a woman and have a baby, she'll be right back.
It's possible. Not all the time. But yo, I don't think I can do it.
See, look at the double standard. Men ain't coming back. They ain't raising another man's child that you done cheated on them with. But a woman will. Look at that.
Yo,
I tolerate so much.
I said that last episode.
We strong enough to do it.
So much stronger than us men. We're strong in one aspect, but y'all are so much built, so much better and stronger, and tolerate so much.
Give me my flowers.
All women, all parents, single parent, all that wives holding it down, working 2 jobs, doing all this. Yo, y'all can. And maybe y'all break down in the bedroom alone.
We do.
I barely saw my mom cry. I'm sure she did. I know she testified about it. She talked about divorce, what it did to her, all those things. So I'm sure she did. I never saw it. Never saw it.
Ooh, that kind of. All right, we ain't about to go there.
Nah, go ahead.
We already ran over time, but that can have also a negative effect on how you view your mom, because you've always seen a stronger side. You always know, so that soft and gentle, or maybe a weaker moment, you can't really give her what she needs from you in that moment, because you think that she just this superhero with superpowers that never cried and had to endure everything on her own. And now when she is vulnerable, how do you respond?
Yeah. That works both ways, because now as I got older, I can see, okay,
it did break her.
Right?
Yeah.
She is Superwoman, but she held it together. She still made that breakfast. She did all this stuff. She gave me the first of it. She ate a little bit of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You women are incredible.
Listen, my son seen me break down. I done pulled the car over. He's like, Mom, what you crying for now?
Yo, I never. So I don't think either's wrong.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
it's just I couldn't take no more. You. I mean, she didn't really have to break down a lot about stuff with you.
No. Until I got older. But
until you got older. But honey, at
Right.
6, he like, mommy, you need a minute. I need a minute.
Oh man.
That can have a negative side effect for children too, but
They could.
it's just like I caused my mother to cry so many times. It's just like, and I remind him, remember when you were 6 and I had to. So,
Yeah.
no.
Wait. She said
I ain't
to
crying
you.
no more.
Wait. She said that to you.
No, I said it to my son.
Okay.
I said it to my son. Listen, you grown. I ain't crying no more. What we doing? Well, you ain't 6 no more.
Yeah.
I ain't pulling off the side of the road to gather my thoughts now. My thoughts is all the way together. Well, I ain't crying about this no more. But that's another story for another time.
I guess. I can see how it could be the negative and positive, but I
Yeah.
just never saw her. That I can recall her break it down. I'm sure she did, but just y'all women are incredible. That's all I can say.
Thank
I
you.
realize it now, even more
Thank
so.
you.
And that's not because you're here. I really see that. The way I felt like walking away. That like just I'm walking away from all this. And a mother rarely would do that. They was take all that, the guy leave, all this stuff, cheat, do this, have a baby on the side, like you said, still take care.
Yeah. And all step parents ain't, Cruella de Vils or Cruella de Vils. There's some that's stepping up and that really take care of these children and doing what they got to do for another man or another woman's child. And that's to be commended as well.
Yeah.
That is to be commended
100%.
as well. Some of the best fathers are usually the stepfathers. They
you said
call
that
them the
before.
bonus dads.
I remember you saying that.
The bonus dad. They only said
Actually,
that
you
about
said-
fathers, though.
You said that, I believe you said statistically marriages like have step parents last longer
Oh,
than
mixed families.
families.
But that means you got kids and she got kids. That don't mean just you
One.
stepping into all her kids or her stepping into all
okay,
of your
okay.
kids. It's like,
It's like-
when y'all come together, they saying later in life it usually lasts longer,
okay,
and then
okay.
when y'all have
So that's
children
both
together,
parties.
both parties.
Okay. So we hope you enjoyed this conversation with us. We really went over again the time we said we would, but
It was good.
it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Millennial Minded Podcast with Marquis and Gia. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. And we'll see you next episode, right? Peace out.
Bye.
Millennial Minded.